It is difficult in this case, if not impossible, to identify which natural gas came from under unleased land and which came from under leased land. Two general principles can solve the problem of establishing ownership. Number one, first possession. Oil and gas are not the property of anyone until reduced to actual possession by extraction. Or two, tied ownership. The owner of the surface has the exclusive right to subsurface deposits. Under the first rule, the Central Kentucky Natural Gas Company was entitled to extract all the natural gas from the dome, regardless of whether it held the surface rights. But under the second rule, the Central Kentucky Natural Gas Company was only entitled to extract the natural gas under the ground that it owned or leased. The consequences of these two rules for the efficient exploration and extraction of natural gas are very different. According to the first rule, fugitive oil or gas is not owned by anyone until someone possesses it, and the first person to possess it thereby becomes the owner. This rule can consequently be called the rule of first possession. The rule of first possession applies the legal maximum first in time, first in right. This rule has been used to establish ownership rights for centuries. To illustrate, in the arid American Southwest, state law allowed a person to obtain a right to water in a stream by being the first to tap it for use in mining or irrigation. See the box entitled Owning the Ocean on page 156. By now, there are few opportunities to claim unpossessed land or water, but the rule of first possession applies to important forms of intangible property such as inventions. A great advantage of the rule of first possession is that it focuses on a few simple facts, so it is relatively easy and cheap to apply. In the event of a dispute about ownership, a determination of who first possessed the property in question is actually straightforward. For example, material evidence usually proves who tapped a water supply first. There is, however, an economic disadvantage of the rule of first possession. It creates an incentive for some people to preempt others by making uneconomic investments to obtain ownership of property. The reason why the rule of first possession creates an incentive to invest too much too early is easily explained. According to the rule of first possession, an appropriate investment transfers the ownership of a resource to the investor.